You are now looking at a new Land Rover Discovery Sport D180 HSE in Portofino Blue. And in this short video, we aim to tell you things you wouldn't find on its website or the brochure. If you're after boot volume and horse meters, this video won't be very helpful. Right. For starters, it appears that you won't find this exact model on any Land Rover website or configurator, because it's been replaced by a more powerful model. But seeing that you're not after power outputs, this D180 HSE press demonstrator will serve as a basis to tell you what the whole range is like. So, quite a few of us at Galimoto Media are not exactly fans of modern Land Rovers. They often seem shiny and delicate, two attributes which we wouldn't apply to the clunky old Landies that some of us grew up with. Having said that, every modern LR product we've tested was deeply impressive, due to their finesse and modern off-road capabilities. These, as any 4x4 fundi will tell you, are mostly limited by the ridiculous wheels fitted to cars nowadays. Same goes for this vehicle, but we hasten to add that they look knuckle-bitingly beautiful. Wow. Also, we'd like to immediately proclaim that every single one of our test members fell for the charms of this entry-level Landy. And that wouldn't be the first time that the smallest, most affordable model gets our unanimous nod of approval. Why? Because it represents relatively good value for money, thus seems less exotic and family-friendly, like the entirely wholesome Freelander, which it replaced. Hell, you can even order this as a 7-seater. Suburban school run, here we come. But we don't want to get into brochure speak, so here are a few notes we made during our time with this Disco Very Sport. The first one concerns this deliciously dark blue paint job, which got nothing but praise from every single observer. However, like any dark hue, it only looks good for the first 10 minutes after you've washed it, because it shows even the faintest layer of dirt. Another slight negative is that this model had something called a black pack. We believe the colloquial term to be murdered out. Anyway, this seems to be quite fashionable at the moment, but we all thought it a bit sad that these contrasting elements are hidden by the dark paint. For those who agree, simply choose a lighter paint color or the non-sporty models with their shiny trim pieces and silver badges. Whoops, that sounds like brochure again, doesn't it? Perhaps I shouldn't tell you about the activity band then. You know, the thing that allows you to lock all valuables and the car key inside by tapping the rear screen. Nope, not gonna do that. Or the generous rear passenger space, which is beautifully amplified by an enormous glass roof that stretches all the way to the back of the vehicle, but doesn't open, by the way. Then there's the butter-smooth 9-speed automatic gearbox, an ever so slightly rattling diesel motor. Its displacement is exactly 1,999 cc's, or 121.9865 cubic inches. And no, we also don't know what ingenium means. We can tell you that opening the bonnet or hood reveals a gaping large hole from a kind of pipe, which, once you look up, turns out to be the receiving end of this engine's air cleaner. This was probably done in an effort to keep excessive dirt or water out of the engine for as long as possible. Also, we'd imagine that the inside of the hood or bonnet is always squeaky clean, seeing that it has a built-in vacuum cleaner. Performance is okay-ish, and as is now customary with these videos, here's some footage of our best 0 to 100 km/h sprint, which took exactly 10.34 seconds. Brake test, that was over in 3.18 seconds and 41.26 meters. Cool, what else can we tell you? The steering wheel actually says Discovery and not Land Rover like elsewhere on this car. It has some touch-sensitive multi-function buttons, which not only flicker on 24 frames per second, but also adapt to whatever you're currently doing. There, like taking a phone call. Sure. Secret tip, the volume also works by rotating your thumb on the left bezel edge, not just by pressing the plus and minus buttons. We quite enjoyed the programmable diamond button, which isn't unique to the Disco Sport, but has two settings which we filled with audio mute and navigation mute. Peace and quiet. It's so underrated. Most of the cabin and door cards were trimmed in a lovely greyish-brown metal imitation, which no doubt has the word titanium in its title. However, the center console is made of glossy black plastic, probably called piano lacquer or something. But it not only looked a bit low-rent, it also creaked, like glossy plastic likes to do. Why do we know that? Because it hides one of the best features in this vehicle. Do you see those two rotary knobs? Yeah, press a button or two and abracadabra, they do something completely different. Now that is clever interface design. Speaking of which, although the compact Jaguar LandRover infotainment screen is prone to fingerprints, whose isn't, the layout and response is very commendable. We enjoyed the highly entertaining camera options in this vehicle, but didn't use them to venture very far off-road. In fact, we didn't go off-road at all. A tad of dirt here, some bumpy roads there. In other words, more bundu bashing than most Discovery Sport owners will ever do. In an effort to sum up the sprinty review, here are a few more random observations we made. The sides of the front bumper have large vertical slats or vents, which, once you shove a GoPro deep enough into them, turn out to be semi-functional. Nice. The boot or cargo area is quite voluminous and slightly dirty in this shot, but hides a full-size spare wheel. Yep, the full 245/45 Pirelli Scorpion Zero on one of those swooping 21-inch alloys. We also found multiple charging ports and various seat or tow hook controls back here. The fully automatic and retractable towing device fitted to our test car was quite phallic in its operation and made the ladies giggle. And last but certainly not least, as already seen on the new Defender, this LandRover had a full-screen camera option in its main rear-view mirror, albeit with reduced settings. These will allow you to fiddle with the height and brightness of the device, because its image comes from a roof-mounted shark fin, and is thus somewhat different from what you'd expect to find in there. Having said that, its main purpose is to provide full visibility even when passengers or cargo have robbed the traditional line of sight. And for that, it's wonderful. Speaking of which, everyone on our team agreed that this is one of the best LandRover products we've recently driven. Not only is it the cheapest one, but also quite stylish, well-proportioned, clever, capable, spacious, comfy, highly customizable, and will do everything the modern urbanite expects of their tar-burning SUV.